I feel like at my time at Illinois, we kind of, took over and punked a lot of people. And that was kind of our thought process to go into places and out-tough people and be the toughest team, whether that's on the road, at home, and giving the fans what they want to see, which is wins and going out and competing as hard as we can. To me, it's never that deep. People take stuff super serious, or at the end of the day, I'm 22 years old and social media is supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be something you go on and you just read negative things or feel bad about. So at the end of the day, I'm a fierce competitor. When it's game time, I'm not going to be joking around.
What do you want your legacy to be at K-State?
I just want to be a program changer, a guy who leaves a program in a better place than what it was when he first got there. And I just want to be loved by the fan base. I truly want to have 2 jerseys and 2 different arenas hanging up. I feel like that'd be something special for me, and just being appreciated by both programs would be something that is truly special to me. So that's the goal.
K-State family, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Cats Talk, hosted by Wildcat NIL. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. Be sure to like, comment, or subscribe wherever you find your podcasts, including Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Please also follow us on social media. Your support makes it so we can continue to put out these podcast episodes. If you're looking for more information on NIL, please visit www.catsnil.com. Thanks for your support, and go Cats. Hey K-State family, welcome to this episode of Cats Talk, hosted by Wildcat NIL. I'm your host, Curry Sexton. On this podcast, we will bring you exclusive behind-the-scenes access to some of the most influential people at K-State. Today, we're thrilled to be joined by one of our newest basketball players, Coleman Hawkins. Coleman, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
For sure. We're excited to have you in Manhattan. How have your first several weeks been in Manhattan so far?
It's been pretty chill so far. I've been able to kind of get acclimated and ease into it, and I've been around town just a little bit, and everybody's expressed to me that once students get here, everything will kind of ramp up. So it's been pretty chill so far, and I've been able to get to some early grinds, and it's been a blessing so far. Yeah.
Awesome. Now you come from Champaign, Illinois. Obviously, you spent 4 years there. Another college town. How does Manhattan compare to Champaign?
I think Champaign's just a little bit bigger. What I've told other people is it's kind of like Manhattan, and then if you go somewhere else, there's like maybe not that much around you for a while. Then you're in Topeka. But I mean, in Champaign, you got little counties around like Rantoul. You got Mahomet, you got like little counties around it where you can venture out and do a couple other little things. But comparing the two, obviously it's a college town for both, but might have been just a little bit more to do or a little more places to eat in Champaign. But both are real chill, and both have passionate, loving fan bases. So yeah,
that's great. Now, obviously, you're new here. You're new to the K-State fan base. Let's talk a little bit about your background. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Sacramento, California, more specifically Antelope. I went to a public high school for 2 years, and then I ended up transferring to Prolific Prep for my junior and senior year in Napa, California, where I lived with a host family who were both great to me. I played with some great teammates there, learned the game of basketball at an extremely high level, played against great competition, and committed to Illinois back in 2019 and was with them until 2024. And then 2024 kind of made a decision to venture out and kind of want to get uncomfortable again, be pushed at a different level, and get out my comfort zone and ultimately become a better player, and kind of a business decision as well. So And that's where I am now here at K-State, and I'm excited to be a Wildcat.
Absolutely. Like I said, we're excited to have you, and we'll get into more of your decision to exit the draft and to enter the portal and to come to K-State ultimately. But I want to talk a little bit more about growing up in Antelope or Sacramento. Did you play any sports other than basketball as a kid?
Yeah, I played baseball when I was about 8 for about 2 days. It got real boring for me. I liked, moving around, and I really just liked hitting the baseball. And then I played football from 5th grade to freshman year of high school. Before I grew to 6'7" my sophomore year. And football was really fun to play. I actually love football. And, I've grown up, I also played golf a little bit and soccer. I had to put the soccer ball down after about a year. And now I play golf in my free time. So really kind of locked in on basketball around freshman year when I realized, I could make some money and play at a high level. So
absolutely. So if you weren't playing basketball, would you be playing golf or football?
I think if I shrunk a couple of inches, I think I'd be playing football. I love football. It's really fun to watch, fun to play. And, it's honestly, me personally didn't think it was as bad as people make it seem. But I mean, I've never played at the college level, but I thought football was extremely fun. So
for sure. I'm partial to football too. So I appreciate that answer. Now, your dad played basketball at San Diego State when he was in college. What impact did your dad have on you becoming the player that you are today?
I think it's just been easy to become myself because he's never had to have like a strong influence on everything, or he's never kind of like held my hand through everything. He's kind of let me have my own journey. He's taken the backseat route. My mom as well. They've been, very great for me. I really hit the lottery with them as far as letting me be me. They, let me be free, let me make my decisions. And ultimately it's worked out for me. And, I'm super grateful for them for not having, like I said, a strong influence on everything and not making things about themselves.
Absolutely. There's a lot to be said about that for sure. So you mentioned playing your last 2 years of high school at Prolific Prep, and maybe you learned this earlier than when you moved to Prolific Prep, but when was it when you thought to yourself, I really think I have an opportunity to go play at a high major level?
I think it was around my freshman year of high school. I remember being, kind of discouraged because I was playing on the JV team, and all my friends I played AAU with were playing varsity. They were kind of rubbing it in my face. It was really like 8th grade where they were kind of rubbing it in my face, knowing that, they were playing, the summer league basketball with the varsity team, and I'm playing JV. And then once that freshman year played out, I grew. I played AAU that summer, spring, and started to receive college interest. And from there, I kind of just like took off, and everybody who was bragging to me about playing varsity stayed on varsity for the rest of their time, and then didn't really do much after that. And, and I, like I said, kind of blew up and became the player I am today. So really around that freshman year, after that freshman year, when I got to play some AAU basketball and get scouted a little bit, was when I kind of, decided to, really lock in because, I thought I had the potential to be something special.
That's great. That's great. Do you remember who your first offer was?
It was Arizona, and it was more so like one of those favor offers. One of the guys was doing a favor, but it was an offer, and it was around my sophomore year of high school. So, it was a special feeling. But then, even if it was what's the word?
Maybe a contingent offer or something.
Like something like that. All the offers started to roll in right after that.
Yeah.
So, and those were legit. And, I worked really hard for all the offers. And, now everyone kind of wishes they had a piece of Coleman Hawkins. So
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It's good to have options for sure. So how many offers did you end up with out of high school?
I believe it was around 14 or 15.
Okay.
Probably would have been more if I played out my senior year. but I committed to Illinois in September 2019. So, yeah.
And what made you choose Illinois?
I fell in love with the coaching staff, the players that they had on the roster. They had great characters. Every guy was super cool, super nice. The atmosphere around their fan base and around campus, there's just like a certain buzz and feel that, I felt when I visited Illinois. And, I told my dad on my visit that, this place felt like home and felt comfortable for me, and stayed there for 4 years, and it was great for me.
Absolutely. So your story at Illinois is one of you're a true developmental story. I think you came in your freshman year, 2020, 2021, and played 5 or 6 minutes a game. 2022, or excuse me, the next year, your sophomore year, I think you averaged somewhere around 5 or 6 points a game. Junior year, you averaged somewhere around 10 points a game and 6 rebounds. And then your senior year, last year, when you helped take the team to the Elite Eight, you're 13 points a game, your 6 rebounds, your second team All Big 12, or All Big 10, excuse me, a whole list of accolades for Coleman Hawkins. What do you attribute to your continued growth during your time at Illinois, where you went from that 5 or 6 minute per game player your freshman year to the all-star superstar that you became in your senior season?
Yeah, I think that's just having an understanding of not trying to rush anything, and that goes with great parenting. My parents have like I said, taken the backseat route without having major influence, and most parents would feel like their kid was not getting a true opportunity. But my parents have always been in my ear and had the understanding of what a process looks like. And, when you have that understanding that, you're not going to come in and make an impact right away on a really good team as a freshman, sometimes it's just not your time and it's not necessary. Why would I complain about not playing that much, or, when I'm a freshman and these guys have paid their dues, and now we're, I'm on a 1-seeded team as a freshman. Like, that's something I'm grateful for, rather than complaining and saying, oh, I need to be playing more. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a mixture of having the proper mindset and having the proper parenting that, is just a good mix that allows you to stay with it. I'm not saying it was all sweet and dandy, but, when things got rough, or, when you face adversity, like, it's so easy to just quit and run away from it. But, I never ran away from it. It just became where people weren't really talking about Coleman Hawkins when he first committed, and now everyone can't keep Coleman Hawkins' name out their mouth. So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think people can appreciate that in the world that we live in, where people are always chasing. It's good to know, or good to see, someone like yourself who's had so much success talk about your growth and how you stayed patient and how you waited your turn to become the player that you are today. So I think that's awesome. And I think K-State fans are excited to be on the receiving end of who, the player that you are now in your 5th season. So that's awesome. Now, you talked about freshman year, number 1 seed. I think you guys won the Big Ten that season. In your 4 years at Illinois, 2-time Big Ten tournament champ, 1-time Big Ten regular season champ, NCAA tournament all 4 years. You made the Elite Eight. You guys had immense success as a team in your 4 years. What do you think, what led to that level of success during your time at Illinois?
I think people just having the proper understanding of what it takes to be a team. I think we were well led. I think we faced adversity, and, like I said, never ran from it. And, with a guy like Coach Underwood, surrounded by a bunch of assistant coaches that know what to do and how to do their job properly, it's just a good mix of a positive environment. And sometimes we felt like underdogs too, and we took that kind of stuff personal. We felt like people were doubting us at times, and we just took stuff personal, and I feel like at my time at Illinois, we kind of took over and punked a lot of people, and that was kind of our thought process, to go into places and out tough people and be the toughest team, whether that's on the road, at home, and giving the fans what they want to see, which is wins. And going out and competing as hard as we can. And that starts in practice, that starts in the summer. when we're playing open gym 5-on-5. And, once I come back from this break, I hope to bring in a competitive spirit to, bring that same energy, that same atmosphere here at K-State. Because, I don't know if they've lacked it over the years. I know they were really good in 2023, but, I'm here to kind of leave a mark and have the program trend in that direction. So.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. And we saw it in 2023 with Marquise and Keontae and some other leaders, but we had a core group of leaders on that team who I think were largely responsible for taking us to the Elite Eight and having the success that we had that year. So I know having guys like yourself and Achor and some of these other upperclassmen, we're looking forward to what you guys are going to bring to the table. And you mentioned Coach Underwood a couple times, and here at K-State, we're super familiar with him. Obviously, he played here, he coached here. He's very well thought of in K-State circles. What was it like playing for Coach Underwood?
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. I've seen him chill out over the years for sure. Freshman year, he was on top of everything, and I never thought in my 4 years at Illinois that there'd be a time where we only went an hour and a half at practice, and it was sometimes just shooting. Like freshman year was every day, 3 hours. We're going at it no matter what. But no, he's definitely chilled out over the years. He's been a really good coach. He was actually, he was saying so many good things about K-State. I thought he was trying to persuade me to go here. So no, he's I have nothing but good things to say about him. He's been great to me. He's given me an amazing opportunity, and I'm very thankful for all that he's done for me and my family. And he's just been great for me as far as giving me opportunities and putting me on a platform and stage where I can succeed. So.
That's great. Now, after your senior year this year in 2024, your run ended at the Elite Eight, and then you decided to enter the NBA draft. What led to that decision? Yeah,
I mean, I felt like my numbers were very efficient this year. I shot the ball pretty well. And really, I did that on one leg. I dealt with an injury for the whole year. And, I felt like it was a good time to, really go out and do it, especially with the draft class that was present. I didn't think there was 60 guys better than me in that draft. Sometimes I don't think there's 30, 20. But going through that process was good, hearing feedback. I think my biggest thing was my body. My body wasn't, very healthy. Like I said, basically played on one leg last year. And then, muscle gain wise, I didn't really gain any muscle. And I'll say that kind of goes hand in hand with my injury. There'd be some days where, there wasn't any true motivation to want to go and work out again or get an extra lift in, this, that, because of my knee, knowing it's going to hurt. But, like I said, felt like I had a really efficient year. Felt like I shot the ball extremely well. Felt like I did things to be a pro. And obviously, there was a decision that I could have made to stay in that draft. And I came back to school for a different opportunity. I feel like I could have been a pro the last 2 years. And, NBA teams have told me they were going to draft me at this spot. They're drafting me at this spot. And, seeing what contracts and things were going to be like, a lot of those talks were with two ways. And I feel like it wouldn't be fair for myself to be on a two-way this year, especially with having to get my knee right, because that's just kind of having to climb another ladder to get to square one. So there's a lot of business that goes into it. It's not just, okay, he entered the draft and came back, he wasn't ready to be an NBA player. That's not what it is. And a lot of people just think that. Yeah. There's so many different business decisions. There's expenses. There's where will you be living? What does the organization look like? There's just so many different things that play into it, where I just felt like the safety net, the comfortable decision was going back to school. So.
Absolutely. So kind of betting on yourself to some degree, right?
Yeah.
Now, you said, you went late in that process. I think late May is when you decided to come back to college. Why did you not return to Illinois for a fifth season?
I felt like I've said before, I felt like I just needed a change of scenery. I felt like I needed to get uncomfortable again. There'd be times where I would, I'm so comfortable with the coaching staff or GAs, people around me, they'll ask me to come get shots up, and I'd be like, I really don't feel like it. And as a 22, 23-year-old trying to be one of the best players in the country, that's not how you go about, who you are. And I felt like at Illinois, I was too comfortable, just getting by in practice sometimes. And, I want to be pushed to a different limit. I want to get uncomfortable. I want to chase, different accolades and accomplishments. And then on top of that, I wanted to add value to another program. I feel like I poured in a lot of a success in 4 years at Illinois, and I felt like I wanted to have an impact, on a different program, help another team win. And I felt like it, graduated from Illinois. There's a lot that I've done for that program, and I was pretty happy with what I did. And I think it was just time for a change of scenery and a time to, try something different. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll dive deeper into this conversation after the break. But before then, I want to tell you about our good friends at Home Field Apparel. Get on over to homefieldapparel.com and get your hands on some of Home Field's K-State selection of over 40 items that are thoughtfully created by Home Field's team. I personally have several pieces from their K-State selection, and I'm wearing my favorite Home Field sweatshirt today, featuring an old school Willie the Wildcat. Home Field Apparel is incredibly high quality and comfortable apparel, and there's something for everybody at homefieldapparel.com. Be sure to use the promo code CATSNIL24 when you check out to get 10% off your order. And when you use that promo code, Home Field will donate 10% of your order back to Wildcat NIL so we can support K-State student athletes. Again, get on over to homefieldapparel.com today and use the promo code CATSNIL24. Now, when you took your name out of the NBA draft, was K-State on your radar when you effectively returned to the transfer portal?
Yeah, so K-State, I'd say really could have went anywhere in the country. Every school reached out. Every school that felt like it was necessary to reach out, reached out. And I think a lot of schools were under the impression that I was just going to stay in. And there was some schools that, panicked and had to take other guys because of the timing and things like that. But K-State stayed on top of it. And, they were always reaching out, always checking in, seeing what the progress was like on my decision and coming back to school. And, when I made the decision to come back, they were on top of it. When I scheduled my visit with Louisville and things didn't go through, they brought me in right after the day of it getting canceled. They brought me in. So they were on top of everything right away, really. And they were just following me through that whole process.
Now, but when K-State started recruiting you, whether when you were in the draft or when you took your name out of the draft, how familiar were you with Coach Tang, Manhattan, Kansas State, any of those? I was familiar with Coach Tang. I've always followed him because we played against Baylor my freshman year, and I was familiar with the success that Baylor had. And then when he got the K-State job, when they had a really good team that 2023 year, and I followed that team. I saw that, it felt like a different vibe. Like it just felt like he was, really vibing with the team, had like good, strong connections. And I always knew him to be, strong by his faith and have a connection with God. And so I've always seen those things from him. I wasn't too familiar with what K-State was like, but I was familiar more so with Coach Tang. And I got to learn pretty quickly what he was about and the coaching staff, and they got me updated pretty quick. So yeah. Awesome. Now, before you came on your visit, had you ever been to Kansas before? I saw your sister played at a D2 school down in Wichita. Had you ever been out here to see her play, or not because of your conflicting schedules?
I've been to Kansas City, but I've never been to like Kansas, no.
Yeah.
Never got to check out any of her games. My family has. My dad actually went to Colby, Kansas, to JUCO before he went to San Diego State. But no, I don't. Other than being in Kansas City, I don't think I've ever like truly got to venture out in Kansas. So.
Gotcha. Now, we talked about Coach Underwood. We talked about, you said you felt like he was kind of persuading you to come here. What role did Coach Underwood play in your recruitment process when you were in the portal and when you were looking at Louisville and K-State and so many other schools? What input did he give you, or what input did you ask him to give you?
Yeah, no, at first he was telling me he feels like it's, my time to go and be in the NBA. He told me that he thought my numbers were very efficient. He thought he doesn't, tell people to go all the time, but, when he feels like they're ready, he tells them to go, and that's what he did. He told me he thinks I'm ready for the draft. And then with the questionable things about my knee and the tendonitis, nothing major. It's just tendonitis. I asked him, what do you think about the transfer portal? And, he's like, obviously there's some things that you can't turn down. And, if schools are, contacting you and there's a big time opportunity out there, he'd be crazy to tell me not to do it. So,
yeah.
From a different standpoint, a lot of times coaches take new jobs all the time. And, when the coaches take different jobs, everyone says they're doing what's best for their family. But when a player has to transfer, they're deemed as a traitor. So his whole thing to me was he was saying basically like the only negative thing he feels would be the questioning of my legacy at Illinois. A lot of people would come and kind of demolish that because of me leaving to go to another school. But in my opinion, being committed to something, to a program from 2019 and finish it out until 2024 is something special to me nowadays for sure. Because we see guys transfer 2 or 3 times
Absolutely.
in their career, and it's common now. But he was very helpful. He didn't have anything negative to say. He had all good things to say about K-State, and he was definitely telling me like he understands business decisions.
Yeah.
So he was pretty much on the same page as me. So
that's awesome. That's great to hear that a coach is supportive of a guy transferring. But like you said, you spent 4 years at Illinois. You built a long-lasting legacy there. So it's good to know that he was okay with you looking elsewhere. So now, question for you. What ultimately led you to choosing K-State? Why did you choose to come play your 5th season here?
Yeah, so like I said, a lot of schools reached out, but also a lot of schools panicked. A lot of schools didn't think I was coming back to school. And those who kind of panicked, they had to get other guys. And, when you get other guys, roster spots fill up, and you can't tell a guy, hey, look, we need a forward. And then all of a sudden you take that guy, and then you bring in a whole nother forward who's one of the top guys in the transfer portal. How would that make you look as a man, not only as a coach, but as a man, So there's a lot of schools that, reached out early, but had to kind of back off because they got other guys. And there's a lot of schools that, reached out, but, didn't necessarily have the resources or funds to, take care of a top guy in the transfer portal. And, once the timing got to, making a decision to come back, there was probably 7 schools that were in the ballpark. And then I wasn't planning on visiting 7 schools. I was more so for 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. And one of those were K-State for sure. I liked Coach Tang. I liked the coaching staff. I've seen Naquan play, and I feel like, I can be in that role where I, grab a rebound, push, make plays, facilitate. And, he showed me on my visit things I was efficient at and ways that he would use me. And I liked the blueprint he had for me. And, they were just always in that conversation. They were right. I feel like they were right about everything. And they were just consistent. And like I said, they were going to be one of those 3 or 4 schools that I was going to visit. And things happened. And, came on a visit here and, canceled other visits. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, we're excited to have you. So you just touched on it a little bit, talking about a Naquan type role, but describe your game to K-State fans. Describe the type of player that you are and that you're going to be this year for K-State fans.
I hope to be a guy who does it all, really. The number one thing I love to do is pass. I love to pass. I love to get my teammates involved, facilitate. I feel like I'm a very unselfish player. I can play what I feel like is anywhere on the court, 1 through 5, guard 1 through 5. And as a 6'10" player, when you could come in and facilitate, guard multiple positions, and make open shots, I feel like I could be a guy who is extremely hard to take out of a game because, all right, we're going to sub this guy in, but we can leave Coleman in and put him in at the 5. We want to play big, put Coleman at the 3, put another tall forward in and a big man in, so I feel like I could be a guy who can really do it all, and just have a passionate and positive energy about themselves that it's contagious around the locker room, contagious around whatever environment he's in, and make it a winning atmosphere. So.
That's great. Now, you mentioned your passing ability, and I think that's something that anybody who's watched you can attest to. But I think you have one of like 5 or 6 triple doubles in Illinois in Illinois history, right?
Yeah.
So that's great. I mean, I think that shows that you do have that passing ability, which is rare for a 6'10" guy who's a point forward, center, whatever position you technically are. So I think we're excited to see you serve in those different roles and be that guy who can kind of do it all. Now, obviously, you're switching from the Big Ten to the Big 12, and I think most people would agree that the Big 12 is the premier basketball conference in the country. How excited are you to play in the Big 12 this year?
I'm extremely excited because I'm ready for different road environments. I'm ready for different styles of basketball. I'm ready to be in just different situations and see what the conference is all about. I played against some Big 12 opponents in the past. And I'm just ready for a different feel. I'm super excited to get a really good game every single night.
Absolutely.
To be challenged every single night, and that's what I'll get here. And I'm really excited to see what the future holds.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you mentioned you're excited for some of the new road venues. Is there one or two in particular that you're excited about playing in?
I'm really excited to play at Kansas. I always hear really good things about playing there. But I feel like I'm very much up for a challenge, and I feel like I love playing road games. So, and I feel like it'd be special playing there, knowing all the history and all the great players who have came through there. So,
yeah, for sure. I've been several times. It's a great place to watch a basketball game, but we need to get over the hump. It's been like 20 years or something since we've won at Allen Fieldhouse. So hopefully you guys can be the squad to do it. Now, you've only been here for, 4 or 5 weeks now. So I know you probably don't have a lot of you haven't seen everything yet. You haven't seen everything from a practice setting, but how does the team look so far, and which of your teammates have impressed you in your time here?
I think we have a lot of things to work on. I think we got to really work on basketball and the feel side of things. And, I'll help with creating that feel for the game when, I can be more vocal. And, I've kind of stood back from the sidelines because, I haven't been here all summer, and I don't want to be a guy to come in and just be all verbal and vocal.
For sure.
And he hasn't been here. So I've stood back and observed, and there's definitely things that we need to improve on. I think our bigs got to set physical screens, create advantages. I think we got to get, better feel for the game, and that comes with watching film. That comes with talking to teammates. I think we got to compete at an extremely high level and want to go out and compete every day. And I think we got to improve our three-point shooting, and I think we have the tools to do those things. I think we have a good group to do it with good attitudes and good atmosphere. And, like I said, once we come back, I'll be more vocal and and help the guys out a little bit more with that stuff. And I think we'll have a really, really good team that's ready to compete at a high level in the Big 12.
Yeah, that's great. That's what we're all looking forward to. A few kind of questions to wrap this thing up. A little more fun questions. You've developed a pretty fun personality on Twitter, on social media. Mm-hmm. How did that come to be? I guess what made you develop that personality and think I'm going to have some fun on Twitter and social media?
Really, it's just like people taking stuff too serious. Like, it's like, why be so serious? Or at the same time, why be so negative? So I just like taking the route of joking around. Like, to me, it's never that deep. People take stuff super serious, or at the end of the day, I'm 22 years old and social media is supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be something you go on and you just read negative things or feel bad about. So I try to give people a fun experience when, they have an interaction with me. I just don't see a reason why you should be negative or view me as someone who's just like a jokester all the time, because that's not, I love joking around, but like, you can have fun. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be a stickler. You don't need to be, oh, this guy's unserious, and view me as something different, because at the end of the day, I'm a fierce competitor. And, when it's game time, I'm not going to be joking around. So when it's time off the court and we're having fun and it's social media, then I'm going to definitely enjoy myself and have fun. And you should too. So
I think Anthony Edwards has proven to everybody that you can be a little bit of a jokester off the court and still be a big time competitor on the court. So certainly understand that. Now, I think when you were in the draft process, you did an interview where you said you wouldn't play in the Big Ten again and you wouldn't play in the Big East because you wanted to go somewhere where you could enjoy football games. We're sitting here in the football complex at K-State right now. How excited are you to take in some football games out at Bill Snyder this fall?
No, I'm very excited. I'm very excited to wear purple and go to a game and just see a sea of purple, root on I'm not knocking Illinois, but root on, a team that, is going to be potentially in the college football playoffs with an elite quarterback, an elite group of guys, and a team that can compete at an extremely high level. And high-level football is great to me, and I like Big 12 football because they score a lot too.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you mentioned that you like to golf, and I've heard you're a big golfer. Have you had a chance to play Colbert Hills yet?
I played once, but sadly I didn't have my clubs. I had to use standard clubs. I didn't play that good. I rented out some clubs. I wish I had my clubs, but I'll get them when I go home, bring them back, and I'll actually get to enjoy my time out on the golf course, not be struggling and topping the ball because I have
you have 5'10", 5'10" person's clubs instead of
But I have played, but it wasn't an enjoyable experience because I did have my clubs.
Hey, I get it, man. 6'10", you gotta have those extended clubs. So if anybody out there is looking for a scramble partner, Coleman's probably your guy here. Now, a couple more questions here. What that we've talked about a lot, but if there's anything we haven't talked about that you want K-State fans to know, what would that be?
My thing is, don't be afraid to come talk to me. A lot of people have a perception. I don't know why. People have like a perception that I might be like a rude or scary guy, but like that's not the case at all. I feel like if you talk to anybody at Illinois, they would say they never had a negative experience with me. So feel free to come up to me, come chat with me, speak your mind. I love chatting. And, I feel like if anyone has said they've had a negative experience with me, I feel like they'd be lying. So don't be afraid to come say what's up and ask questions. And, I'm an open book, and I love to chat with people. So, yeah.
Great. Last question. What do you want your legacy to be at K-State after your one season at K-State?
I just want to be a program changer, a guy who, leaves the program in a better place than what it was when he first got there. I feel like I did that at Illinois, and I feel like I want to do that here. And I just want to be loved by the fan base. I want to be a guy who everyone misses in 5 years. Like, dang, man, Coleman was, such a treat for us. I miss him here. And ultimately, I want to be an All-American. I want to, be up on the All-American boards here. leave a stamp. And really, I truly want to have 2 jerseys in 2 different arenas hanging up. That's my goal in life. I feel like that'd be something special for me, having a huge impact on 2 organizations, two college teams, and just being appreciated by both programs would be something that, is truly special to me. So that's the goal.
Well, I hope all that comes to fruition, both selfishly and for you as well. Really appreciate you being here today. We're excited to have you at K-State and looking forward to the impact that you're going to make on the team this year. K-State fans, if you see Coleman out and about this fall at a football game, make sure to go up and chat with him. He's a super social guy. But again, we're looking forward to having you this year, and really thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
That's it for this episode of Cats Talk, hosted by Wildcat NIL. Thanks for tuning in. K-State family, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Cats Talk, hosted by Wildcat NIL. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, or even leave a 5-star review. And please follow us on social media. Your support makes it so that these conversations are possible. If you're looking for more information on NIL, please visit www.catsnil.com. Thanks for your support, and go Cats.